I brought my boyfriend home for Christmas, and my family destroyed everything in 10 seconds. The driveway was already packed when we pulled up. My stomach twisted seeing Uncle Greg's Mercedes next to my sister's Range Rover. I'd specifically told my mother we'd arrive at 2, that I wanted time to settle in before the chaos started. But there were at least 8 cars here, which meant she'd invited people early without telling me. Classic manipulation. Make me look like the one disrupting her perfect schedule. Daniel reached over and squeezed my hand, his fingers warm against my cold ones. It's going to be fine, Lily. They're going to love you. I wanted to believe him, but he didn't understand what he was walking into. How could he? His family had game nights and inside jokes. Mine had scorecards and blood debts. I'd been preparing him for weeks, trying to explain the ecosystem of my family without making them sound completely toxic. My mother, Helen, who measured love in achievements and appearances. My father, Richard, whose silence somehow carried more judgment than words. My older sister, Natalie, who'd spent 30 years perfecting the art of making me feel small. My younger brother, Derek, who'd learned early that staying neutral kept him safe. And then there were the extended relatives, each with their own agendas and alliances, all orbiting around the central sun of my mother's approval. Daniel had listened patiently, dismissing my concerns with optimism that felt increasingly naive the closer we got to the house. The front door opened before we reached it. My mother stood framed in the entrance, wearing a silk blouse and pearls at 2 in the afternoon. Her hair was freshly styled, her makeup flawless. She looked exactly like she always did, perfect and cold as porcelain. There you are. We were starting to wonder if you'd gotten lost. Her voice carried that particular edge that meant I was already disappointing her. I checked my phone. We were exactly on time. Come in! Come in! Everyone's been dying to meet Daniel. She pulled me into a hug that smelled like Chanel and champagne, then turned her full attention to him. I watched her eyes sweep over him, cataloging everything. His jeans were dark and clean but not designer. His sweater was nice but off-brand. His shoes were practical. I could see her making calculations behind her smile. Inside, the house looked like a magazine spread. My mother had outdone herself this year, with fresh garland wrapped around the staircase, a massive tree in the living room dripping with ornaments that matched the rest of the decor, and what looked like professional floral arrangements on every surface. The air smelled like cinnamon and pine, and the particular kind of stress that comes from trying to manufacture perfection. Voices echoed from the great room where I could hear my sister's laugh, that specific performance she did when she wanted everyone to know she was having the best time. My chest tightened. We weren't even through the door, and I already wanted to leave. The introductions happened in a blur of handshakes and air kisses. My father barely looked up from his phone, giving Daniel a brief nod before returning to whatever was more important. Natalie swept in wearing a dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent, her 2 perfectly behaved children trailing behind her like accessories. So this is the famous Daniel. Lily's told us absolutely nothing about you. She laughed like this was charming instead of a pointed reminder that I didn't share things with them anymore. Her husband Kenneth appeared with drinks, playing the generous host in my parents' house, a power move I recognized immediately. Uncle Greg and Aunt Diane were there,